friends, welcome back to Pages and Pens. My name is Julie. Today I'm here with my July vlog style reading wrap up. Let's jump right into it. If you can't hear in the background, I've got laundry going, I've got a fan going, because for whatever reason my dryer likes to vent directly up into my smoke detector and set it off because of the warm, moist air hitting the smoke. Listen, I don't know. June happened, and there was no wrap up for June because all of my reading for June happened inside of the Queer Blackathon readathon, with the exception of one book. Well, two books, technically. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks was mentioned in that vlog and read just prior to, like, the first day of the readathon. I finished that book. The only other book that I read that month that I did not talk about yet is Take a Hint, Dana Brown by Talia Hibbert, which I read just before publication date on the 30th. Right? Was it the 30th? I think so. This is one of the best books I've ever read. I love this contemporary so much. I love Talia Hibbert's writing so much. I thought I loved Chloe Brown so much and read, like, more than anything. I was wrong. Danny and Zeph have my whole ass heart, both of them, and I saw so many parts of myself in both of the characters, and they're both so self-aware. I mean, they still have flaws, but they're both very driven people. I love that in a main male character we have somebody who's very self-aware, who is in therapy, who is committed to getting therapy for young boys in sports, realizing that, like, mental health is just as important as physical health and sprints and drills, etc., who is dealing with their own trauma but is, like, actively and openly in therapy and helping themselves, who is dedicated to their family just like Danny is. Danny, who is so career driven and singularly focused, like, her career and her family are the only things that matter. And she's dealing with her own, like, fatal flaw, this, like, belief that she's just horrible at relationships and should never be in one and should only have friends with benefits, etc. And then they've got a fake date, and it is the most amazing, pure, open, like, not based on miscommunication. The sex is phenomenal. The way that Talia Hibbert writes her characters, so real. And it's just, quite frankly, the way that everything should be written. It's okay that in the middle of a romance book with a ton of steamy stuff, there's a woman who has a period and period cramps, that there's a man with anxiety, that, I mean, it's just amazing. Amazing. I can't say enough good things. I really, really, really loved this book. And it's the only other thing that I read in June. June was not a great month for me. That's okay. Starting off in July, today is the 3rd, and I'm doing better, guys. I'm doing a little bit better. I have finished 2 books since the beginning of the month. Admittedly, and I will say this, full transparency, prior to the book of the month kind of stuff coming out and being super crazy problematic with their representation of their, like, who they have to work with them, who they're actually paying out, etc., I had re-signed up because I had credits that I wanted to use, and I didn't want to let them lapse. So I re-signed up, used some credits. I had some for the first month. I did have to use some in July as well, and then I've canceled since then. I did pick up Home Before Dark by Riley Sager because typically I like his work. Lock Every Door, not my favorite. This one, guys, it had such 5-star potential. It ended up being a 4-star book. I still enjoyed it because it's a thriller. I'm not going to say too much, but it is a haunted house story. It is a generational haunted house story. I feel like Riley always has this thing where he gives you the assumption that it's going to be one thing, and then, like, he carries it almost all the way out. Like, he almost gives you what you want. Like, he almost executes on the promise of the premise when he tells you it's a haunted house story. Like, there's you know, a creepy apartment building with a house sitter. Like, he almost follows it all the way there, and then he deviates. It's a little deviation, and that deviation pisses me off every single time. Does he wrap up threads? Yes. Do I love the way he does that all the time? No. Do I still enjoy the books? Yes. So I'm gonna go with 4 stars, but like it is not my perfect thriller, and that pisses me off because it had potential to be. I also picked up Beach Read by Emily Henry because I've been hearing so much about it, and I did tab both of these books even though I listened to this in audiobook. This one I put a couple tabs in even though I listened to the audiobook for this. Audiobook was really great. The book itself was phenomenal. You've got 2 writers who end up living next to each other. They are college rivals. They end up living next door to one another. They're both trying to write a book. They decide to write in one another's genres and see if they can do it better than the other person, sell the book first. And they help each other with these little like Saturday dates to help one another learn that genre, like the other one's preferred genre. And they're both dealing with their own pasts and their own issues, and it's a small town setting. I love small town settings. You see this process of both writing and healing and getting over your past and moving forward. And it was really, really cute and really, really great. It's a pretty isolated 2-character book with a little bit of outside interaction that kind of gets fleshed out a little. I did go ahead and 5-star this. I really, really, really loved it. Danny Brown was a 5-star. And then a 4-star for Home Before Dark. I'm currently reading Freshwater. I also borrowed You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, which I had started reading for the Queer Blackathon and then never finished, so I re-downloaded it. And also If I Never Met You by Mahari McFarlane, which I am hoping to get to both of those. There's other ones that I have that I'm interested in, but I want to like wait and not borrow everything at the beginning of the month. So audiobooks have been working for me because I've been diamond painting still. And I'm going to go physically and start an arc. Let me show you what that is because it's in a pile of stuff. Physically, my goal is to read Frederick Bachman's Anxious People, which was very kindly sent to me by Chelsea. She was able to grab an arc of this, and she knows how much of a Frederick Bachman lover I am, so she sent it to me, and I could not be more thankful. I'm going to dive into this immediately. This comes out in September 8th. 2 days before my birthday. Happy early birthday to me. I will be reading this next. I cannot wait to get into this. I kind of want to go in blind. I know I'm going to love his writing, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go read this. Maybe I'm back. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm kind of back a little bit. It's July 10th. And I finished a couple things. I don't know if I talked to you about You Should See Me in a Crown, but I really did enjoy it. I think I gave it 5 stars. Pretty sure. There is still that, like, angsty teenage, a friend behaved really, really shitty, and they're like, mad for a second, then they get over it, which I don't like. I think people should be held accountable, and you should be able to let go of friendships when it serves you. In this situation, I think it served them. However, it was very cute, and I did really, really like it, so I still went with 5 stars. I finished a couple other books since then. Who am I? I don't know. 10th of the month, and we're rolling through books. But I did finish my arc of Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This one comes out in September 8th, and I am so here for this. If you like Frederick Bachman, if you like Frederick Bachman's writing style, I think you're going to love this book. This one is another very small kind of slice of life situation where you're following a specific set of characters who are all linked a little bit more than you think they're going to be as per his usual writing style. This one follows a lot about grief and guilt and trying to do your best and anxiety and mental health, and it was so relatable, and I found so much in it that was just very beautiful and poignant and touching, and I love his books. Like, genuinely so much I love his books. So it's 5 stars. Should not be surprised. I read Recursion by Blake Crouch, and I read Dark Matter, really liked Dark Matter. This one I went 4 stars on. I enjoyed the reading experience, but I don't like certain things in books, and I read Blake Crouch knowing I don't like certain things in books, and then somehow he makes me still like them. I don't love dual timeline, dual dimension, time travel-y stuff. It doesn't do it for me. I do not enjoy when a book makes me question reality, and I know that's silly, and for some people that's probably one of their like hype words that they love, but I don't appreciate when a book makes me question the very reality of space and time, and I don't like particularly when books are sciencey to a point that makes me feel stupid. I don't love that. but I love Blake Crouch's writing. I just do. I read this, I tabbed this, I enjoyed the heck out of it. I think I read it in 2 days, and I'm glad I have it, and I'm glad I read it. I enjoyed it, but it was a mind F. I can't tell you how many times I just cursed this thing and was like, I hate this book, I hate this book, I hate this book. But like, it wasn't a real hate. It was just like, oh God, I hate the things it's making me think. But that's also probably like a good thing. I like when books make me think. But also I hated the way it made me feel sometimes. But I also loved it. It was a 4-star read. I finished a book. I finished The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager, which is his second book. I really enjoyed Final Girls, and I really enjoyed this too. Did not enjoy his most recent 2. I enjoyed Home Before Dark more than Lock Every Door. But his first 2 are just like a little bit more conventional thrillers, and I like them a whole lot more. I trust nobody. I often get upset because everybody seems suspicious and I have no idea what's actually going on. But like, I kind of love that in the end. I hate it in the moment, love it in the end. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed the reading experience. I'm not mad about it. I also reread, it's all the way over there, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. Still stuck with my 4-star rating, and still stick by the fact that April May is a deeply unlikable protagonist. I hate her so much, and it doesn't make it easy to read. I am reading A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor right now. I'm very early in, so not that far. And I will be starting another book soon because I need to have 2 books going at all times, apparently. And A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor is massive. I'm not taking that to work and back, so I will be bringing a different book to work. I've got a couple books that I want to talk about that I'm not sure if I talked about yet, so I'm just going to cover them. And then we're going to wrap this bad boy up because it is August 1st and we've got a new month to talk about. I finished When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. Spoiler alert, I gave this 5 stars. Watch my reading vlog if you want to know more of my thoughts. But it's an amazing book. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys grab it. It comes out in September. It's a thriller, but it talks about a lot of things that are going on right now. Like, I got the chills in a lot of this. It is very timely. I loved it. 5 stars. An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, I gave 4 stars. Again, I gave 4 stars the first time I read it. I gave it 4 stars the second time around as well. Then I buddy read and finished, this chunker, Laughter at the Academy by Shauna Maguire. This is a bind up of a whole bunch of different short stories and novellas and little tiny like writing prompts or things that have been published in other anthologies that she's republished for the first time in one collection. This is, I don't know, 30 some stories maybe, and they were all ones that I hadn't read before. They were all new to me because I hadn't bought any anthologies that she had been part of prior to this, but I really love her writing, so I wanted to give it a go. This is a limited run book, so there were 1,250 copies of this book sold, and I think I have book number 859. They're all numbered and signed. I paid way too much for this because I pre-ordered it, and then Amazon, back when I was still ordering from Amazon, they had sold too many copies of this book, and then there were none available left. So I didn't get it through the pre-order. I had to buy it secondhand after the fact, and the price went up a good bit. It's a $40 book. I think I paid 80 bucks for it. But I really, really wanted it. And then it sat here for about a year and I never read it. So I have recently read through this entire collection and I gave it 4 stars. Some were better than others, but if you want to know a full breakdown, it is on Goodreads per, like, I break it down for each story, a rating, etc. I will say that Shauna Maguire makes it a point to say at the beginning of this that she puts content warnings for each of her stories, and then she definitely doesn't. There were some content warnings for like ableist language or gender slurred language, the use of the word bitch, but then not for murder and loss of a child, body gore topics, or sexual assault, or extreme bullying to the point of suicide. Like, I mean, there were so many content warnings that did not get included in her notes. I don't know what distinction she made between deciding when to put content warnings and when not to, but I do put as many content warnings as I can into my reviews if you're interested. But I don't even know if you can grab this. It may be available in ebook form, but not physical book form. So those were the end of my reads for the month. I read 11 books, And for the most part, they were all pretty highly rated. Let me grab my laptop and take a look. Look at my lovely, mostly made bed. All right, and the gray hair. Guys, I promise, a lot of you freaked out that my hair is no longer purple. My hair is purple. I just haven't been doing my roots because guess what chlorine is? It's bleach. So if I'm in the pool with the kids or just in general, it comes right back out. So I'm not going to waste my time and money dyeing my hair right now. Nobody is seeing me. So that's my natural hair color and a lot of gray. And then my purple starts back here now. I read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, gave it 4 stars. Beach Read by Emily Henry, gave it 5 stars. I read You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, I think, 5 stars. I read Freshwater, ooh, I don't remember that author's name. I gave it 4 stars. Recursion by Blake Crouch, 5 stars. Anxious People by Frederick Backman, 5 stars. The Last Time I Lied, Riley Sager, 4 stars. An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, 4 stars. Witchy, a graphic novel. I don't know where that went. I got it in an Outcrate box. I just wanted to read it. I read it. It was 3 stars. I didn't love it. When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, 5 stars. And Laughter at the Academy, Shona McGuire, 4 stars. About 3,742 pages, 11 books. I had multiple books that I started but didn't finish. Namely, No Man of Woman Made. I could not get into it. I'm just not in a fantasy mood. That one was about trans or genderqueer characters, and it was fantasy. It was all fantasy short stories, and I read through the first 2, and I just couldn't. I'm not reading fantasy right now. They were not connecting with me. I don't think there's anything wrong with the book. It was just not for me at this time. When I get back to fantasy, maybe. And then I did not finish A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor. So there's those. So that's my wrap up for July. Not a horrible month of reading. I'm excited for August. I don't have an official TBR, but stay tuned. But that's it for this one. If you guys liked it, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. Click subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Bye, guys. Okay. We're done. We're done.